Founder Carnelian Capital Advisors joins in on the show. Good morning, Vikas. Good to have you on board. Let's talk about the theme about the opportunity within the digital IT space. In the time of a pandemic, the report also talks about how there is opportunity as well that can be seen in select arenas, and there is a lot of potential of growth for the IT space. How are you looking at the Indian IT sector in this context, and would it be a blanket view or positive view across the board, or are you being very selective?
I think there is a very big shift which has happened. I think post-COVID crisis, we have seen across the globe, organizations need to spend significantly on the digital transformation, infrastructure upgrade, and that has created a significant spurt in the demand. And this demand is global. It is not a particular company, a particular sector, or a particular country. It is actually a global across sector. And this kind of demand environment is a very, very robust environment. And we think that from a supply side perspective, the great part for India is that there are no competition. Only Indian IT companies can provide that IT services part. Both in digital transformation and infrastructure upgrade and all the related IT services. So we will have, according to us, a great demand environment over the next 3 to 5 years for most IT services. Of course, there will be some sort of shift from the traditional services to the new digital side. But I think overall, the pie is going to get fairly large. I mean, and we think that across the board, IT services will do very well. But obviously, the larger ones will definitely capture the larger part because they are a lot more prepared from a digital capability perspective. They are more prepared from an access to customer perspective. But in general, when the sort of tide goes up, every company benefits. We are in general bullish for IT services, and we think it is here to stay. The interesting demands, the supply dynamics are there. Supply side, it's only Indian companies, and you can't count more than 10, 15 companies which have any kind of capability to cater this. So we remain quite positive on this thing.
Because everyone's talking about the massive opportunity and the stellar growth that the specialty chemical sector is poised to see. Are you too betting on this basket?
So I think, definitely the specialty chemical as a theme has been around for almost now like 5-7 years. And that theme we've been playing for quite some time. And I see that changing, continue to remain in a meaningful manner over the next 5, 7, 10 years, because there's a big shift which is happening on specialty chemical side from China to India. As you know, that chemical China is the global leader and fairly large part of the global chemical supply is from China, including for India. And that diversification, that shift has begun to happen or has got probably accelerated right now. And in that situation, we think that is going to be here. And I think that can be, in our opinion, extended to many more sectors as we see, which is what I think the crisis has brought to us.
Okay. There has been a lot of potential as well now within the defense sector as a whole. Just today we had the news coming about that that the defense minister is looking to suspend the import of a number of defense items to really boost the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign. And this is a sector which can see a lot of potential as well going forward, given the kind of steps that have been taken by the government as well. While it does seem to be a fairly niche segment, are you betting on strong growth for the defense sector?
I think this is indeed a very good initiative. Government has recently taken a lot of initiatives to promote manufacturing in India. As you know, that Prime Minister has put down 25% of GDP as a target, which is a very tall ask. But my point is that even if it gets to, let's say, 20% from current 15-16%, still you are talking about almost 2.5-3 years support in the manufacturing space. And that will happen across the board. That will happen, in many sectors, chemicals, APIs, defense, auto ends. But India has a distinct advantage. Now, this defense is obviously India is a very large importer. We are largest buyer on the defense side, and ever since Prime Minister has come, he has always talked about exporting, defense equipment from India. So first step is obviously, reducing imports, and then you can go to export. The interesting part is that these kind of moves which got announced yesterday, that will create kind of ecosystem. See, it's not a suddenly you can start, manufacturing. You need to build the whole ecosystem, and it is a 5, 10, 15-year process. So, one can't say that yesterday got announced and there are huge amount of opportunities coming to tomorrow. The whole ecosystem needs to build. Some will benefit immediately with the companies which are ready to capture in their own way. Some of the opportunities we have been talking about, companies like L&T, Bharat Forge, have been here to capture a small portion of that. So they will tend to benefit on that. But here the talk is about building the whole ecosystem. We'll go back to, when Maruti came in, 82, that time, we didn't have any auto ecosystem. And it took 15 years, 20 years to build the full-fledged ecosystem. Earlier, 98, 99% of the parts were imported into India. Today, it has completely reversed, and we are fully indigenized. So I think same thing probably would happen to defense and many more sectors as the government is kind of pushing this whole Atmanirbhar Bharat program. And secondly, more important aspect is the India's competitiveness is significantly improved vis-a-vis China. And that, I think, in my opinion, is a lot more sustainable advantage which India is getting into, and that will push or accelerate this movement towards manufacturing.
Okay. All right, so manufacturing, of course, will continue to be an area of focus, and in fact, as Vikas defines it, a mega trend perhaps going forward as well, with loads of factors contributing there. Which are some of the other sectors, Vikas, we could look at in light of that? We were just listening to R.C. Bhargav as well as Pavan Goenka talking about the outlook for the auto sector. R.C. Bhargav sounding very confident, I mean, both of them, but talking about the industry really reviving and getting back to double-digit growth and how it continues to be a critical part of the economy as well. What's your outlook when it comes to autos, auto ancillaries?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one sector we already have a lot of capabilities and competencies. We have lower cost competitive advantage. We have a large scale capacities both in the automobile space and auto component space. And I think as this, the path accelerates, you will see this only getting bigger and bigger. I don't have any doubt in my mind. As I said, India's labor cost is cheaper than China. The power cost is more or less same as China. Logistics cost is significantly improving. It is not at a disadvantage. It is in fact more or less same, and it is going to get better with the SSC coming in. So we are, if you connect a lot of dots, we are already one of the lowest tax rate in the world as far as the manufacturing is concerned. So, a PLI is being announced by the government. If you put together all of this, you connect a lot of dots, you will see over the next 3 to 5 years, many of these sectors where India already has a skill advantage. We have some sort of, competency proven where we have a cost advantage, where there's a government push which is happening. I think some of those sectors which cuts across, auto components, APIs, specialty chemicals, even in defense, I think we can definitely build wherever there's a skill-based requirement. Even in the capital goods, by the way, India tends to gain a lot. India is very good in that, and I think that's one sector can, I think, leapfrog from here. And interesting part here is that one to keep in mind is that India has a huge, strong domestic demand. So when you combine the domestic demand with an incremental export opportunity, it creates a great business proposition and economies of scale kind of environment. And that will sort of accelerate this whole journey, in my opinion, far better than most of us are expecting. So when a trend builds, it initially looks a bit slow, but over a period of time, it just kind of ends up becoming very big. And you can go back and check when pharma happened. India did not have any ecosystem, but today we have created a significant pharma industry. When IT happened, India did not have a great ecosystem, but over a period of time, it just tends to build. So we see these kind of trends. You have to look at to take a view of 8-10 year perspective. You can't look at a next 1 or 2 years.
Understood. Vikas, thanks for joining us this morning. Always a pleasure having you with us on ET Now.
Thank you very much. Nice chatting with you.